Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. We extend a warm welcome to you as we discuss and analyze Corowa Flour Mill in this video. The Corowa Flour Mill is a heritage-listed former flour mill and now tourist attraction at Steele Street, Corowa, in the Riverina region of New South Wales, Australia. It is also known as the Corowa Flour Mill and Site. It was added to the New South Wales State Heritage Register on 2 April 1999. As we venture forward, let's examine history in detail and gain a deeper appreciation for its significance. First explored by Charles Sturt in 1838, the Corowa area was rapidly taken up as squatting runs. The most influential settler was John Ford, son of a well-known paramotor coach builder, who was attracted by the district when he was overlanding cattle from the Monaro to Victoria in 1839 and immediately returned to take up 12,000 ha straddling the Murray River. Agriculture, with wheat and tobacco, developed and the gold rushes of the ears, including one at Corowa, created a new, significant market. Ford was encouraged in 1856 to lay out a private town on the Victorian side of the river, called Waggonia, and in 1857 he bought Henry Hopwood's Ikuka punt when Hopwood built his pontoon bridge there. The punt was installed at Waggonia but was replaced in 1863 by a privately owned wooden toll bridge operated by a company headed by John Ford. The bridge was decisive in encouraging urban development on the New South Wales side, where North Waggonia, Ford's second private town, became Corowa. The customs houses at the Corowa Bridge handled large amounts of wool, and the wheat and oats crops were very substantial in the last quarter of the 19th century. Corowa has been an important centre for grain growing since the Urs. In 1887 a roller flour milling company was formed in Corowa. This mill, subsequently known as the Netherby Roller Flour Mills, was burnt down in 1920. It was replaced by the current structures. The new 4-story brick mill building housed 14 stands of double steel roller mills, with 6 silo bins providing storage capacity of 15,000 imps in the adjoining skillion roof section. Other new buildings were a brick office and boiler house. The architect of the mill is unknown. However, it is remarkably similar in detail to the mill building in Albury and was probably executed by the same designer and builder. The old boiler house was replaced after the fire with a similar brick building said to have housed a 180 gas engine instead of steam boilers and pumps. Although the motive power had changed, it is evident that the mechanical power transfer system of line shafting with flat belt drives continued to be in use up until the mill closed in 1970. The milling company exported flour to the UK, Malaya, Borneo, Indonesia, the Middle East and North Africa through Aden. It also supplied a large domestic market. In the Urs the mill was processing 3 tons of flour per hour, and a block of concrete silos were built to provide grain storage for this large output. In the years after the closure of the mill in 1970 the milling machinery was removed. In the late Urs the site was purchased by Bunz, a South American-based company of millers who operate the flour mill in Albury with the intention of extending their stock and grain milling operations to the Corowa Mill building. In 2001, the Corowa Council bought the mill from Goodman Fielder in relation to a planned waterworks project. Several proposals were made as to what to do with the site over a number of years, but it remained vacant. In 2010, a whiskey and chocolate factory, Corowa Whiskey and Chocolate, commenced out of the former flour mill. In the upcoming section, we'll be shining a light on description. The complex of mill buildings of heritage significance occupies the southern corner of a very large site. Steele Street runs along the southwest boundary and the railway along the southeast boundary of the site. There is an area of vacant land across the front of Steele Street, along the railway side and to the rear. There is a space of at least 10 meters between the mill and the concrete silos to the northwest. All the other buildings on the site are to the north and east. The mill is constructed in the local apricot-colored brick. The modern additions for grain storage are well away from the old buildings, and 2 relatively modern extensions are in a reasonably sympathetic style. One is a gable-roofed, galvanized iron-clad building attached to the side of the skillion, probably used as a workshop or bagging floor. The other is a hip-roofed extension to the small gable-roofed brick office building next to the skillion. The small office building is on the west corner of the complex. In this part of the video, we'll be delving deeper into modifications and dates and analyzing its key components. As or as addition of two buildings for grain storage 1970th mill closed. In the years after the closure, the machinery was removed. Late 1980th site was purchased by Bunz, a South American-based company of millers who operate the flour mill in Albury with the intention of extending their stock and grain milling operations to the Corowa Mill building. A council bought the mill off Goodman Fielder as part of a land acquisition project related to a new waterworks. A council considered proposals for a National Flour Museum and bakery on the site, with pre-ERS machinery to be installed. Nothing came of this proposal. Proposals for second-hand market and arts centre and a possible chocolate factory, depending on who the site was sold to. 2010 chocolate and whiskey factory opens in the building. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on heritage listing and its role in shaping our understanding. As at 1 July 2004, the former Corowa Flour Mill was acknowledged as a landmark in the district. The main building is of considerable architectural and industrial significance. Although not the only example of such a mill still extant, it is nevertheless considered to be of state heritage significance. Corowa Flour Mill was listed on the New South Wales State Heritage Register on to April 1999. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.